Start wherever you want. Go ahead and talk to me.
Okay, let's start with the first one. America was never great. What defines great?
What defines great
What?
to me? What defines great to me as a country? Give me a second. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. My bad.
Nah, no problem. It's my phone is slipping. There we go. All right, sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
All right, make the background smaller. I actually can't. Is my background being like pushed to the side? That sucks if it is. But let me go ahead and answer your question. All right. So, in my opinion, what makes America great is equality of freedoms and opportunities for all of its citizens. Yeah, we can, and a meritocracy as well. And if we don't have equality of opportunity for all of its citizens, no matter what their race, creed, color, or religion is, or sexual orientation is, then the country isn't great.
Okay. So, what country do you think follows those values then?
Probably Singapore.
Singapore?
Mm-hmm.
And so you're saying that to be great, everyone has to have an equal chance to be great. Is that the basis of what you're saying?
Yeah, everyone has an equal chance, should have an equal chance, and it shouldn't matter what your economic status is, what your race is, what your religion is, what your sexual orientation is, what your gender identity is. None of that should matter when it comes to the opportunities to be great in this country or in a certain country.
Okay. And you don't think America lives by that now?
No, we definitely don't.
Okay, and in what way? What give me an example?
Oh yeah, easy. Does a rich kid from the Hamptons have more opportunity than a poor kid from Southside Chicago?
Yeah, but what
There you
what
go.
is now? Here's the thing, though. What you want is equity. Everything to be equitable.
Mm-hmm.
Not equal. Not equal. Not Excuse me. Sorry, I'm driving. You want equity instead of just an equal opportunity.
No,
Okay.
equity. That's what I've. Equal opportunity is equity, in my opinion. Are you saying that those two things are different?
Yes, I am. I'm saying that equity means everything. Everyone ends at the same finish line, as opposed to everyone just getting a chance to do something with themselves.
No, equity to me is everyone is at the same starting line, and there are no barriers in front of them, no matter what, no matter where they started from, economically, racially, or with their gender identity.
Okay, so I'm not saying that certain people don't have have it harder on themselves to make themselves great. I am saying that they have the opportunity to make themselves great, regardless of the situation you were born into.
We don't.
There's multiple cases to where you do.
No, I'm not saying that it's absolutely impossible. Actually, wait, hold on. Dr. Joe just said something. AMG, are you driving?
Yeah, I'm driving.
Apologize, man. I can't have you drive. The law will get taken down if you drive. Go ahead and come on back when you're come on back when you are when you're not driving. I do apologize. I had to take you down. That does happen. If you're driving, please wait till you pull over, or you can actually talk and then come back on up. How's it going, Jesse?
I'm on this side of the dirt. Hope you are well.
Nah, no problem. All right, y'all, go ahead and keep liking the live and keep sharing. We got about 181 people in here. Mothership, I see that you highly disagree with what I'm saying. I'm going to go ahead and invite you up. I cannot make the prompt smaller than what it is right now. Or I'm going to go ahead and try to check if I can. I'm going to take a little break in probably like another 30 minutes, and I'm going to try to make the prompt smaller so we can see it equally. All right, is your name Knowledge?
Yes, it is.
How's it going?
How you doing? Good.
I'm right. Are you at least over 18?
Yep.
All right. You disagree with anything I got on the board?
Nope.
All right. W. Mothership, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm all right. You over 18?
Yes, I am.
All right. What do you disagree with that I got on the board?
Well, I was just questioning who you said we don't. I didn't know who the we was with the last guy you were talking to.
United
saying
States of
we
America.
we don't have the same starting line.
United States of America. Not everyone has the same starting line. If your starting line and the barriers that you face depends on your race, depends on your economic status, and depends on a lot of times your gender as well. And sometimes these can intersect. Like a black woman or a black man may have less opportunities than a white man or a white woman, even if they're homosexual or not.
Well, isn't that part of the human condition that everybody's born in a different context and that nobody truly does have the same starting line, but the opportunity to.
Yeah, as far as when it comes to things like ability, like for example, you may be way better at math than I am. So yeah, you're gonna have a starting line when it comes to like trigonometry and algebra. You'll probably be a better engineer than I will be if you're better at math. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, like esoterically, yeah, that's a better starting line. But my starting line being behind yours and I have barriers in front of me due to the way I look should not be there. That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, that's pretty hard to say to people who grow up in rural Appalachia.
No, it's not. They have a starting line. They have almost my same starting line. The only advantage probably they have over me is that they're white.
Well, I'm glad that you're willing to admit that we have almost the same starting line. I guess I don't understand how race gets involved, though.
Yeah, your opportunities highly could depend on your, not even could, their opportunities highly depend on your race. I'm not sure if you ever have you ever heard the Veil of Darkness study?
I have not, no.
Yeah, the Veil of Darkness study was a study that looked at 90 million traffic stops across the country, and they basically control for everything, essentially. You know, not just time of day, but also the type of car that the person was driving, even the color of the car the person was driving, and everything like that. They found that in the morning, black drivers were stopped like about 3 times as much as white drivers. And then when the sun went down, basically when it came nighttime and it became harder for a cop to see the driver, the numbers equaled out. So it actually shows that within the criminal justice system, at least with police, they're targeting the black drivers.
Was criminality, was that the determining factor behind pulling over?
No, they check for all that. The type of tickets that they got, if they received the ticket or not, the crime in the area. They control for basically everything you could think of. And they still found that black drivers were stopped, I think, at least 3 times as more than the white drivers.
Okay, yeah, that's not a study that I'm familiar with.
Yeah, and that shows a problem, at least in the criminal justice system, a huge amounts of targeting to black drivers, which is systemic racism. We can see this in banking as well. Like there was a matter of fact, this just happened with Navy Federal Credit Union. I'm not sure if you heard of this, but in Navy Federal Credit Union is being sued by the Department of Justice because like qualified black and Latino borrowers who had the money, the credit, the family, the occupation, everything that would be demanded to be on a mortgage loan, they were denied. Or if they were not denied, they were giving higher interest rates. And it was really for no reason. The only difference between them and the right applicants is their race.
Was it in Jacksonville?
I think that was in Jacksonville. Actually, it was all across the country, Navy Federal Credit Union.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. Also, can I add the same thing for recognized for home appraisals? When people go for loans for home appraisals, that was another thing, too, that where there were instances where they would have someone appraise a home, and if it was blacks there, they get one price. If they replaced them with whites, they get another price. And so actually, Vitanos had a whole council that kind of dealt with that. I think a big deal happened. It was in California when they showed it with someone, but it happens a lot. I live in Florida, and I can honestly tell you that when you get and I'm African American, I'm black, that when you get ready to have your house appraised because you want to get an equity loan or something, I just tell you, you take away signs of being black. Pictures are taken up, and because your house will be done differently, and they don't have the same level of regulation. That's just true. But I can tell you also for a fact, I'm in Tallahassee, Florida, that my daughter also same thing. Her home, kid, grandfather's pictures, everybody up, come in, get one price. She said, "Okay, let's wait." Had someone from the same organization come back out. Had her white girlfriend come in to act like she was it. House went up about $45,000 in appraisal.
Correct.
So those kinds of things do happen. Yeah.
Right. Correct.
But I want to say something about equity, though, that I think that the first person was trying to really grasp with, and I think that and you correct me if I'm wrong. The way I look at equity is that in order for everybody to be equal, you have to be able to make up the difference that a group may not have had to get there. So for example, if I want to say that, is that right?
No, that's
equity
right.
is that okay. So equity is what you do to help them to get to that point, so you can be at the same starting point, right?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, all right then. Okay, good.
Right. But Mothership, do you understand everything that we said and why I would view America as not great or never great?
Well, I guess, no, I understand what you're saying. Yes, I think everybody's been very clear of it. But who is the arbitrator of what things need to be made up to get to the same starting line? So that's one question. Who's the arbitrator of that?
Yeah, sure. What we need to look at is like historically what has happened to certain communities to hobble their progression, and we see what we can do to help them get to the same starting line in order to make up that economic and social depreciation. Does that
Sure.
make sense?
And yeah, absolutely, it makes sense. The next thing would be, how do you do that in the case of the example that you gave? I may be better at math than you are, but you want to be an engineer.
Oh,
So
yeah.
how do we make up for the gap that's there?
Can I answer that?
Oh yeah, sure. And
Okay.
I'm sorry, just that's the last thing. Y'all keep liking the live and keep sharing it. We got 85 people in here. After this, I'm gonna let you down, Knowledge and Jessica.
Okay.
I don't want the panel to get too
Gotcha.
too cluttered. And Savage, I'm gonna get to you next, all right? Right after I talk to them too. And we got about I would say about 7 minutes left on this discussion. But go ahead, Knowledge.
All right. Okay, yeah. No, I was going to say something, and just kind of bring it up today really quickly. I'm 71 years old. Okay, so I lived through Jim Crow and all that kind of stuff as a teenager, and I can tell you that before there was called DEI and all that kind of stuff, I tell you, I was raised in the inner city of Detroit. Number 2 in my class in inner city high school. Got the University of Michigan. University of Michigan had a special program because they realized that kids that came from the inner city may have had good grades, but they may not have had the same classes, et cetera. So what they did to get them to an equal standpoint, there were certain things that they did in terms of coursework, in terms of tutoring, in terms of academics, et cetera. But to equal you out, you still had to take the same university exams as everybody else. They identified certain barrier courses. And after you got that, you just went on and you did great. That is what DEI was at universities as well, too, helping people to get to the point where we're taking advantage of the fact that they do have deficiencies there, helping them get to the point, and it had nothing to do with admissions and all of that. That's what's being torn down now. I can tell you, because they did that, because I had a weakness in certain areas, I can tell you that my whole year of chemistry in high school was summed up by the first 4-week exam, and those kids that came from other high-powered schools from across the state and even in the city, the first year of chemistry was a review for them. So they gave us what we needed, and at that point, once they could step back, and we just went on. Okay, and so to me, that was the equity part. Understanding that these kids don't have this, they have this problem, that problem. Let's have this for them, let them get up to snuff, and then let them go. And so when I'm looking at what's happening today, the whole point of giving that for people that may have problems, from racial thing or even people with autism and those things in colleges that they try to do through DI to get them help them the deficiencies so they can move forward, and we're tearing all of that down. And so, to me, my vision, my point may be different from you because I am 71 going to 72. So when I look at number one, to me, it's never been great. And so that's just where I am. And so I know I'm on a time crunch and I'll let other people talk. I won't crowd up your live, but I thank you for letting me come up, okay?
No, not a problem. I appreciate you because what you
Okay.
said is exactly what I would have said. I do
Okay.
appreciate you being up here knowledgeable.
Okay, take care now.
Take care. Oh, sorry for cutting you off. Take care. But yeah, I appreciate you being up here. But yeah, what he said, the example that he gave, in order to make up certain gaps, just like he said, we have to know like what were people learning and what they weren't learning. And if someone is just mathematically better, there's no way to really make up that gap. But we won't really know unless we try to give them the opportunities and see what they can make up. You see what I mean?
Well, were remedial classes not offered before? Remedial classes are offered now.
Yeah, remedial classes are offered
Because
now.
what he described was remedial classes.
It was remedial classes, but what we need to also understand is that even within education, there's a lot of bias there. So it's gonna take some.
Could you give me an example of that? I don't
for-
disagree. I don't disagree at all.
Yeah, for example, there was a study that was done on preschoolers, and they found out that when the preschoolers were all playing, they got black boys, black girls, white girls, and white boys. They got all them playing at the same time. They found that the teachers, these were any teachers and the race of teachers as well. They found that they not only were their eyes looking more at the black boys, but they also found that the teachers marked the boys as misbehaving, even when they were doing the same exact thing as all the other students. That shows that that negative bias against black boys starts in preschool.
Can you give me the
Wait,
name of that
let me-
study?
can I
I
just
just
jump in
grabbed I just grabbed a pen. What's the name of that study?
Yeah, sure. I just remember. Let me give
Can
me
I
a
just
second.
jump in here, man? You're really cherry picking studies here. Like I understand, like you just mentioned that one in the Veil of Darkness. There's another study out of Boston, Massachusetts that did 425,000 traffic stops that found no discrimination or.
Hey,
racial
Savage,
bias.
can you give me a second because I'm still talking to another person. Give me a moment,
Okay,
all right?
sure. Yeah.
Mute up real quick. All right. Give me 1 second. Okay. Give me a second. Okay. It's a Yale study. Give me a second. If you actually, you can put this into Google and it'll come right up. If you put pre-K bias against black boys study,
Can you
It'll
just
come
give me
right
can you give me the title of the study? That's a
Yeah.
pretty biased Google search in and of itself.
yeah, sure. Let me just go ahead and try to find the name of it.
What did you say that you typed in the search? Pre-K what?
Bias against black boys. Give me 1 second.
Yep. Take your time.
Yeah, here it was. It was conducted in 2016. It's a long title, all right? It's called Do Early Educators' Implicit Biases Regarding Sex and Race Relate to Behavior Expectations and Recommendations of Preschool Expulsions? Yeah, it's a long title. Sorry, I'll repeat it
Can
again.
you read that one more? Yeah, repeat that.
Yeah, sure. Do early educators'
Yep.
implicit biases
Yep.
regarding sex and race
Yep.
relate to behavior expectations
Yep.
and recommendations of preschool expulsions and suspensions.
Thank you.
All right, not a problem. All right, that's our last 30 seconds. I appreciate you being up here, Mac. All right, Savage, give me a second. Are you over 18?
Yeah.
All right, and I know you disagree with me on something. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just think you're cherry picking studies like the Veil of Darkness one. I mean, it is a comprehensive study, but there's other comprehensive studies out there that show the exact opposite, that there are no racial disparities or discriminations when it comes to pulling over traffic stops. But I wish you would have kept that last item, especially when he was talking about the real estate and how there's racial components to, I guess, the price of houses and, how homes are being sold and how pictures get taken down. Pictures get taken down all the time when houses are sold, because the idea is when a family walks in to buy a house, you want them to envision themselves living in that house. So having pictures of other families in that house takes away from that vision. So that's why pictures of other families get taken down.
Okay, there are two things. Yeah, hold on, give me a second. There are two things. Nuna, I'm going to bring you up in a second, all right? Give me a few moments. All right, so, Savage, two things. Number one, when it comes to the Veil of Darkness study, it is a comprehensive study, but again, it looked at 90 million traffic stops across the United States, not just one city, okay? But like that kind of shows something. But the second thing that I would say is that I don't think you kind of understood what he was saying. He wasn't saying that pictures are taken down all the time. That's true. But talking about like appraisals, you feel what I'm saying? Like when you take down anything that symbolizes that it might be a black household, the price of the house jumps.
That's not true,
Okay, so how do you explain it?
because it's just strictly based on comps and what houses have sold in that area.
Okay,
That's it.
so
any kind of update, and any kind of updates that have been done in the house.
okay, but here's the problem. We're talking about homes where a black couple owns it. Matter of fact, this was done before. It was a black woman and a white man owned that home. And yeah, they had the pictures of them owning that home, right? And she had, things that would reveal that it's a black household, like, African statues and stuff like that, right? They were given one price for the selling of the home. They took all of that out.
Wait,
Hold on. Let me finish. They took all that out, put a white person in there, and pretended that the white person owned the home, and they got $100,000 more. This has happened multiple times.
There's no way. That's so patently false. There's no way, because it's based on comps. Because when a real estate agent is taking a buyer to that house, they are showing them comps in the area for what houses have sold for strictly. That is it. And it's actually, in fact, against, they can have their license taken away. Real estate agents can, if they even mention like any sort of racial components or any sort of, if they direct a buyer to not purchase a house based on like racial minorities or any kind of
Hold on, Savage. I'm gonna spend this one more time because I don't think you heard me. I didn't say that they mentioned the race of the buyer. What I'm saying is that when the owner of the houses are there, and they have their pictures of a black family, and the black owners are there, and they get their house appraised, they get one price, right? Then when they research around the area and they see that all the other houses were appraised for more, what they do is that they remove their pictures showing that it's a black owner in there. They get a white person who's a friend of theirs to pretend that it's their house, and the appraiser gives them a higher price.
That's not true. It doesn't happen like that.
So look it up.
No way.
So look, I don't know what to tell you. This has been a major story at least 5 times.
Yeah, but
a court actually proved that the appraisers did that. They actually sued the previous appraiser company for giving them a lower price.
Yeah, well, okay, well, that could be. It doesn't necessarily approve that it was a racial component, even if that did happen. And secondly,
so then how do you explain that? How do you explain that black owners are in a house, an appraiser comes in, they give them one price. They pretend, then the black owners then pretend that their white friend owns the house. They go to another appraiser and they gave them another price that's twice as much. How do you explain that it's not a racial component?
I would say look at the comps. Like initially, like I would have asked to let me see
again. The reason why they get a white person to look at their house is because they see that other houses in the area sold for more than the price that they were given.
Pricing a house is strictly based on comps. Like that's it. Having a picture of a family in there would not inflate or deflate the price of a home. Period.
So then how do you explain the appraiser giving them another price when there are white people in the house? How do you explain that?
They brought in a different appraiser, or was it the same appraiser?
No, they brought in a different appraiser.
Okay.
But the problem is that why did one appraiser give them a higher price when it's a white family, and a different appraiser give them a lower price when it's a black family?
Well,
you see the problem here?
I disagree with the premise. I don't necessarily think it could have been just the white family or the black family, because
so then why didn't they give them the same price?
Because well, first of all, it's a different appraiser. So it'd be one thing if like you were to say like the one appraiser went into a house that was owned by a black family and gave them a price. Then they went to a home next door that was owned by a white family, same features, same type of house, and they gave them $100,000 more price for the value of that home. That would be a more substantial argument. But the fact that it was a different appraiser, there could be a multitude of reasons why the price was different. It's not like the same appraiser went in there and saw a white family and a black family.
So how do you explain that the two different appraisers are from the same company?
Well, again, what company is it? What's the name of the company?
I'll have to find out. I'll have to look up the news article and tell you, but they usually don't tell you in the news article. But yeah, it's a different appraiser, but the same company, which is why they sued the company.
Well, if it's a different appraiser, again, it's one thing if it would have been the same appraiser. The fact that it's a different appraiser changes the whole game. It's not the same appraiser.
But it's the same company. What are they doing?
It's a different person doing the appraisal.
It's a different person doing the appraisal, but it's the same company. They're supposed to be following the same rules. Is that right, or is that not right?
Well, let me just say this. Even if that, let's just say for the sake of this argument that you are correct that this happened one time. This is not an overwhelming problem, and this does not, for the vast majority of homes being sold in America, this does not happen.
Studies have shown that it does, that black owners get their houses appraised less than white owners. Why do you think that is?
It cannot happen. It's strictly based off homes that have sold in the area. I'm in real estate, dude. That's how I know this. When I price a home and when other real estate agents price the home, we're going to try to price it.
That's great that you're not biased, but that doesn't mean that there is no bias in the industry.
But it's strictly based off numbers. There is no bias.
I understand, but there is bias in the industry when black owners get their houses appraised less, and black people get their have higher rates of interest, even when they have the same income and debt ratio as white owners. Why would that be the case?
Wait, say that again.
How do you explain the Navy Federal getting sued for this?
Look, people get sued for all kinds of different reasons. Like, just because you're sued doesn't mean you're guilty.
You realize that the feds have a 98% like conviction rate. So the feds are going after you. They have the evidence that you're doing something.
You're saying the federal government has sued Navy Federal Credit Union for racial discrimination against housing?
Yeah. They sued Navy Federal, they sued Bank of America, they sued 21st Century. These are major banks that the DOJ is suing for racial discrimination.
Let's look at the lawsuit. Pull it up.
Oh my God. Okay, let's look at the lawsuit.
Bringing it up. Let's look at it.
All right, what do you want to see in the lawsuit?
I just pull it up. Let's look at it.
Well, I'm not gonna be able to post it here. I'm on my phone. What do you want to see?
Well, I don't know. Read something out. Read the court case. Read the documents. Read something. Yeah.
I'm probably not gonna be able to find that, bro. That belongs to like in Westlaw and shit like that.
It should be public records.
What are you trying to see here? I'm not sure what you're trying to see.
Well, you're saying that the federal government has sued Navy Federal Credit Union and Citrus
for racial discrimination. Yeah, you want me to just type it into Google? Navy Federal. I mean, you never heard that? Did you honestly never hear of Navy Federal Credit Union being sued? It literally happened like back in October.
No, didn't hear it.
Okay, so last year when Bank of America got sued for the same thing, you didn't hear about that either?
And who won the case, by the way?
What? Which case?
You said Navy Federal Credit Union got sued by the federal government. Who won the case?
I don't think it's over yet. Let me see. The Navy Federal lost. They had to pay $80 million. Actually, no, this was overdraft fees. My bad. Give me a second.
Yeah.
It's still ongoing.
Okay, so they haven't been found guilty. And in one of the comments in here saying that it's dismissed.
It's not.
Okay, well then, they're not guilty, so how can you say that they're racially discriminating if they haven't been found guilty?
The case is ongoing.
Okay, but you can't really ascribe that they've been racially motivated in lowering appraisals for black families because they haven't been found guilty, and it's an ongoing case. And by the way, someone's saying the case was dismissed 9 months ago, so...
It wasn't.
I don't know, man. All I'm saying is I know that real estate agents and appraisers try to get the most amount of money for homes because that's how the more money that a house is sold for, the more money the agents make. So when we sell houses, we are going to try to sell the house for the most amount of money possible. We don't care who the color is of the person that owns the house.
That's great that you're not biased. That doesn't mean that bias doesn't exist in the real estate market, bro. You realize redlining was a thing, correct?
Yeah, when back in the 60s, 50s?
Yeah, back in the 50s. When did it become illegal?
I don't know when it became illegal.
It became it became officially illegal in 1975. Were people still doing it up until the 90s?
Yeah, but we're talking about right now, huh?
Yeah, we're talking about right now. But the fact of the matter is that you're saying that we want the most money for our buck. But the fact of the matter is that bias did exist. These people didn't just die off and don't exist anymore. Redline didn't even end. It's still ongoing. Redlining is still an issue.
No, dude. You just said it did exist.
Yeah, it did exist and it's still ongoing.
And like I said, even if I were to grant you that it's still happening, it is such a small, like almost insignificant number of or percentage. That's
so how do you explain that the majority of black people live together and the majority of white people live together if it wasn't still ongoing?
How do I explain that a majority of black people live together and then a majority of white people live together?
Yeah, if it's not ongoing anymore.
Because people just naturally tend to gravitate towards their own race.
Wrong.
No, that's not wrong.
This,
not wrong at all, my friend.
No. I'm not saying that, in a very superficial level that you're not wrong. What I'm saying is that when it comes to real estate, this separation still happens on purpose.
No, it's illegal. You can't do that.
Yeah, you can't officially do that, but you can corral people into a certain area without actually officially doing it.
Certain individuals might try to do that, and still I don't believe that. But again, just to grant you that argument, some people may do that, but as a system in this country, that is illegal, and you cannot do that.
Yeah, sure you can.
Which disproves your argument. No, it's illegal to do that here. You cannot.
So hold on. Let me ask you: is it illegal to sell drugs?
Yes.
Do people sell
Well,
drugs?
actually, in some states it's not, but yeah.
Do people sell drugs?
Yes.
Okay, then. So saying that it's illegal, it doesn't happen is stupid.
But your whole premise is that it's America as a country.
Yeah, America as a country does.
Yeah, I'm not disputing that some people in this country are racist and do racist things, but as a whole, as a country, we are far better off than we've ever been. In terms of,
we've gotten better. I'm not saying that we haven't gotten better. We have gotten better, but we still have issues that make us. We have gotten better. Like I can't, like if I step into a diner, they can't kick me out and call me the N-word. But that doesn't mean that that sundown towns all of a sudden don't exist anymore. Like let's think through this, right? The first little girl to go to an all-white school, Rudy Bridges, she's 60 years old. Do you think the people who were bringing nooses to school just disappeared?
Essentially, yeah. There's very, very.
Are you trolling me right now, Savage? Think about what I just said. Rudy Bridges, the first black girl to integrate a school when she was 6 years old, is still alive today, and she has an Instagram. Do you think that those kids who were bringing nooses to school that grew up with her all just disappeared? Really?
No, I don't think I think they're all dying out. I think that those people.
They're not. She's 60, bro.
No, I disagree. I think that those people are very, very, very small.
Rudy Bridges is 60.
I get it. Yes, I get it. But you're saying people that brought the nooses to school, do I?
Yeah. Sorry about that, man. Like she only gave you 90 seconds and then you got kicked out. Hey, babe. All right. Jesse, I'm sorry I didn't get you to talk yet, but thank you for being here. Lily, is that your name? Or was that Billy? There it is, Billy. Billy, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, there you are, Billy. All right, are you all at least over 18?
Oh, yeah.
All right, you disagree with anything I got on the board?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. What you disagree with?
Pretty much all of it.
Pretty much all of it. Go ahead and start with one, and then we'll talk about it.
You say America was never great, but
Yep.
we're the superpower of the world.
So,
That makes us pretty great.
are you saying that the USSR was great?
No, they're not a superpower.
They were a superpower. Are you saying they were great for their time?
They're not the number one superpower.
That's not what I'm asking you. They were a superpower. So were they great? So were they great?
We're the number one superpower.
I don't. That's not what I'm talking about, bro. It's a yes or no question. You said that we're a superpower that makes us great. The USSR was also a superpower. Were they great?
They were all right, but I mean, they weren't.
Yeah, exactly. It
not
doesn't.
number one
It
superpower.
so it doesn't matter if they were number one or not. They were a superpower, and they were vying. And America and USSR were vying for
Not
power.
the superpower. You know what I'm saying?
It doesn't matter if they were the in their part of the world. They were the superpower. So are you saying that in their part of the world they were great?
Okay, there's only one superpower in the world. And that
There's
was
only the one superpower now. I'm talking about. Are you trolling me right now, Billy?
No, I'm being 100% with you.
Okay, so being a superpower doesn't make it great. What's the point of being a superpower if we had lynchings and racism? That's great to you?
No, I mean, there was definitely some stuff that wasn't great, but I mean, were we the greatest country in the world? Yeah, we still are.
How are we the greatest country in the world when people were lynched for looking at a white woman?
I mean, we still did a lot of good stuff. Bad stuff happens.
That doesn't answer my question, Billy. I'm starting to think that you're trolling me, bro. Are you being serious or are you trolling me?
Trolling you, bro. There's bad shit that happens in every country in the world. Quit.
Okay,
bitching,
cool.
bro.
Okay, cool. Don't crash out, please. So
know what
I just
happened
need you
in
to.
Russia?
I just need you to. I just need you. I just need you. I just need you. I just
know
need
what
you.
happened in
I
every
just
other
need
country?
you to answer the questions, please. All right, and then we can have a discussion.
Yeah, I'm answering them.
So
for you.
okay, cool. So what I'm asking you is how don't jump into something else. I'm asking you, in a country where people get lynched because of their race, how is that greatness just because it's a superpower?
Well, America was great. Okay.
Okay,
We
I'm
did
asking
stuff
how.
that wasn't great, but so did every other country.
I'm not asking about any other country. We're talking about America. If you don't answer this question, if you can't answer the question, bro, let's just move on to the next one.
All right, bro, give it to me.
All right, what else do you disagree with?
All of it.
Okay, pick something else. Wokeism is what?
We are the greatest country in the
Hold
world.
on, wait, Billy, slow down.
Reparations, you
Billy, hold on,
get nothing.
slow down, Billy, slow down, please. All right, don't just go,
Let's go
Billy,
one by one.
wait, let's go one by one. All right, so being woke is good. I think being woke is good. Why do you think being woke is bad?
Because it's it's stupid.
What's stupid about it?
Well, what is wokeism? It's a DEI. It's
Okay, so
pride
Billy,
flags.
all right, so Billy, you don't know what woke means, but you think that it's stupid. So who told you that it was?
Who told me it was stupid?
Yeah, because you just
The woke left told me it was stupid.
what does
Well,
woke mean to you?
shit they
What does
say.
woke mean to you? What does woke mean to you?
It means DEI. It means
What does DEI mean? What does DEI mean?
It means diversity, equity, and inclusion. It means
I know
you get a job.
I know those are the acronyms. I'm asking about what it means.
It means they give jobs to people that aren't qualified because of the color of their skin, which is racist.
Okay, can you tell me a provision within the DEI policy that does that?
A provision? No, I don't know any provisions.
Okay, can you name an article within the DEI policy that says that?
I can tell you that's why LA burned.
Can you tell me within a section within the DEI policies which say that? Which DEI policy are you talking about, by the way? Are you talking about DEI policy in corporate America or DEI policy in
talking about
schools
any-
or the DEI policy in the federal government? Which one are you talking about? Also,
Any
can you tell me which section within DEI policies say that you have to give someone a job because of their race?
Would you be upset if they took your race into account to give you a job?
No.
Or your sexual preference?
Billy,
No.
Billy,
But
Billy,
what-
Billy, listen to my question.
Racism.
Billy, listen to my question. Billy, listen to my question. I asked you, can you
No, I
name
don't
a section?
know. I
Hold
don't
on.
know.
All right, exactly. You don't know exactly. So that means
doesn't matter, though.
Billy, hold on. It does matter. It does, Billy. It does matter because if
matters
you're saying
because
Billy,
you
listen,
have no
Billy,
answer
listen,
to it.
Billy. I'm gonna mute you real quick. All right, I'm gonna mute you real quick so you can learn how to listen. Stop yapping, please. I'm gonna mute you real quick so you learn how to listen. You're saying that DEI does this thing. I'm asking you, where in DEI does it say to actually do that? And you can't name it, which means that you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. DEI doesn't say that anywhere. Not only that, DEI has several different policies. All DEI policy states is that within a workplace, we're gonna try to promote understanding other cultures and being diverse. For in order for someone to actually be a DEI proponent and to be a leader of the actual program, to be the leader of the actual program, they actually have to be educated in things like psychology, educated in things like business, educated in things like public administration. They have to be educated in those type of things. They have to be educated in anthropology. Are you telling me that a person who's educated with business and psychology are unqualified to lead a program? Is that what you're saying?
Program. I mean, a firefighter? No, I don't think that a person with a business and whatever other degree you just said is qualified. No.
What does that? Why'd you say firefighters? What does that have to do with firefighters?
Because LA burned to the ground because they got some lesbians and some other people and they don't know what they're doing.
Okay, let me ask you: the fire chief of LA. What are her qualifications? Do you know them?
No, I don't. But
okay, the fire chief. Oh, hold on. Let me ask. Hold on, Billy. I'm gonna ask you this one last question. Billy. Listen. Listen. Be quiet for a second. I'm gonna ask you this one last question.
Why do you keep
I'm
cutting
going
me
to
off?
ask you this one last question. The reason I keep cutting you off is because you go a mile a minute and you don't listen.
No,
Listen to the question I'm going to ask. This is the question I'm going to ask. Do you think that a person who has 20 years experience in firefighting is qualified to be a chief?
I don't know. I mean, 20 years. You think
That's
so?
a very long. Yeah, you would think so. That's a very long time. Okay, the fire chief of LA has 20 years of firefighting experience. Tell me how she's not qualified.
I mean, because her entire
Yeah,
city burned to
exactly.
the ground.
Yeah, exactly. You can't answer.
No, I just
Thank you for being up here, Billy. Thank you for being up here. I know you can't answer. All right, y'all. I'm gonna not bring any more bigots up. If you want to talk to me, we're gonna actually have a discussion because we're not gonna do that. All right. I'm sorry, I can't read your name. Your name is. This is a puck. Is that correct?
No, this app suck. No, my name is Judah.
Oh, Judith. All right, y'all.
Yes, sir, Judah.
Judah. Okay. My mom did turn the comments off. That's because you guys didn't get up to the likes that she wanted. So try to get up to I think she said 10K or 11K. Get up to 10K likes, and then we could go ahead and turn the comments back on. All right, so Judah, are you over 18?
Yes, sir, I am.
All right, do you disagree with anything I got on the board?
Let's see. I don't disagree with anything, but I'm gonna be playing devil's advocate. For America was never great. I'd say the foundation of how it started and the different things that has led up to the different issues, it's really bad. But I feel like with the way that I see it as great, it might be different. Like I think sports are great. I think rap culture is great. I think that the melting pots of the communities that come together within America is like pretty great. Yeah, about being woke is good. Being woke is good. I'm not really debating that. I just feel like a lot of people, they always feel like they have the answers to something and they can't really listen to people. And I feel like if you're woke in that sense, that's not good. You can't really learn. Why should I believe in God? For me personally, I believe in God because it's just how I feel, I feel God. I believe in God. I pray to God. And I do see things in my life change. And it's not really anything I can explain. It's just a personal relationship. And then, yes, sir. And faith is unreliable for truth. I say that yes or no. Because at the end of the day, like, if you do something like terrible and something terrible happens, it's not the devil, but I'm Haitian myself, you know what I mean? Like, there's things that I've experienced for sure.
Okay, gotcha. I'm gonna have to interrupt you for a second. Okay, give me one moment. All right, you were really playing devil's advocate with the America was never great thing, so we're not gonna talk about that. I know you're playing devil's advocate, so you already agree with me on it. But when it comes to I haven't done religion in a second. So you said why should I believe in God? You think I should believe in God because you have a feeling?
I think that's not my reason. I'm saying I believe in God for myself. I'm not trying to. Okay. So the question was, why should I believe
in God?
Why should you believe in God? why should you believe in God? Honestly, for me personally, I say that is a spiritual journey that you have to take for yourself. And I really don't know how to explain it, but I can only say from my personal experience, I pray, I feel way better. There's different things in my life that I don't know how to face or do. And I pray and I feel better about it.
Okay, what if the things I face in my life, I don't pray and I still face them and I'm good?
I still see it as just goodness of God, you know? I feel like all goodness, all things that are good comes from God, and if it's bad, shit just happens sometimes, you know?
Okay, that seems strange because doesn't everything happen within God's will?
I mean, in my understanding and my belief in God, no, because how could we have free will and everything is in the will of God? That's kind of a contradiction, you know?
Okay. So we have a will over God then. Our will is more powerful than God's will.
I wouldn't say. I would say both. Yes and no. Yes and no.
Okay, yeah,
Yes and no.
that
Yes
seems
and no.
that seems contradictory. Has God ever done anything bad then?
Not to me. No.
Not to you.
like when I mean not to me, I mean God done anything bad in the like. I don't think God really did anything. I just feel like the actions of people are really just.
Actually, let me get a clarification. When I'm using God, right? Since we live in a Western world, I'm using more of an Abrahamic description. You know,
Yes.
Judaism, Christianity, Islam. Is that
Yes.
what you're using it as, or you're not using it
Yes.
as that?
Yes,
Okay.
I believe in the God of Abraham. I believe
God
in
and
the God of
Abraham. So Christianity,
God of Abraham. Not Christianity, the God of Abraham.
the God of Abraham. So what? Judaism?
No, so I believe that I don't believe that there's like within the God of Abraham, like those religions are wrong. I feel like they all serve the same God. It's just the Savior is different, and the people who tell the stories are different. And so I just believe.
Do you think Jesus
is
is your Lord and personal Savior?
Not really, but I believe he was a great man who taught a lot of good things.
Okay, so you believe in the God in the Abrahamic tradition, but you're not Jewish, Christian,
Yes.
or Muslim or Baha'i. You're not Baha'i either, right?
Yeah, I just believe in God.
All right, but like, is it but you said that in the God of Abraham, that's a very specific God. That's the God of the Quran, Torah, and in the Bible, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. So if we look at the Bible, we can see things that God has done, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So have you ever read Leviticus 25:44?
I have not.
Okay. So in Leviticus 25:44, this is God speaking to Moses. He told Moses, as for the male and female slaves whom you may have, it is from the nations around you that you may acquire male and female slaves. You may also acquire them from among the aliens residing with you and from their families who are with you and have been born in your land. They may be your property. You may keep them as a possession for your children after you, for them to inherit as property. These you may treat as slaves, but as for your fellow Israelites, no one shall rule over the other with harshness. So the God of Abraham told Moses and the Israelites to go ahead and have slavery. Is that a good thing?
No.
Cool. So the God of Abraham is an
Not at
asshole.
all.
Why are you worshiping an asshole?
No. I feel like a lot of things in the Bible are skewed and misrepresented to control the okay, let me articulate myself. I feel like the Bible and a lot of the things that were in it were skewed to create narratives and different things in this world that aren't really supposed to be what it is supposed to be. Because at the end of the day, it's like 2,000 years old. You edit something down from 2,000 years from person to person to person, it's going to sound different. And I feel like within that, a lot of things in the Bible was manipulated and turned around to have power over people.
Oh, so this so this verse in so Leviticus, so the whole Bible, we can just basically throw it out. Then are you saying that it's not really the word of God? Then
I'm not saying the Bible isn't the word of God.
okay, so what I just read is the word of God. Then
Okay, that means I'm gonna backtrack from what I'm saying, and I believe that the Bible is is I'm not gonna say a best effort because it's not, but to decipher the old happenings in okay, let me articulate myself. I feel like the Bible now is just what we have as a source from different things in the past and different or my fault, man. Let me articulate myself for real. I feel like the Bible is what we got, and I feel like the Bible is incomplete, and I think that God's word is misinterpreted a lot, and I can't say that a lot of things in the Bible is God's word because it's written by people.
okay, so you agree with me then? Holy books are not evidence. Thanks.
Holy books are not evidence. I yes and no.
No, you agree with me because you just said that there are things in the Bible that were manipulated, taken out, added,
Yes.
edited, things like that. So if that's the case, then we can't rely on it.
I guess so.
Right.
I say I'm not going to say that we can't rely on the Bible. And in the chat, I'm not saying for the people that like the Bible is scraps. I just know that for me personally, I know for real that the Bible is incomplete, and a lot of things in it were changed to manipulate mass people.
Yeah, so we can't depend on
know,
that. Why we depend on that?
Yeah, that's real.
Right.
I hear you.
Cool. You disagree with anything else?
Let's see. I would actually ask, would you like to explain dem socialism over capitalism? Because all my life, I just learned that capitalism was pretty decent for a working society.
It's not. Capitalism is good for production. It does cause more people to. It is good for production and resource allocation. But the problem with capitalism is that it promotes an idea of having profit, and if profit is the only goal, then the needs of the people are going to go to the wayside, and we've seen that happen several times. We're actually seeing that happen now, where the wages of people are stagnant, but productivity is up, profits are up, but the cost of living keeps going up, and we can't pay for it because the corporations need to make more profit. The only way to do that is to cut costs, and part of that cost is paying us.
Alrighty.
So when it comes to democratic socialism, what that does, and there are a lot of people on the left who actually don't like democratic socialism, because what democratic socialism does is that it keeps up, the system of private ownership of the means of production, but what it does add is a large social safety net, and it adds more workplace democracy. So if it's a system that adds more workplace democracy and social safety nets, people are able to live better under the capitalist market. It's a good first step, like everybody said, but most people on the left want to move towards a stateless and moneyless society.
All right. And then also, just one thing about the reparations for Black Americans. 1,000%. Black Americans should have reparations. But the only thing about reparations is... Someone's here for me?
Oh, I think that might be Latrell. I'm gonna leave it on. Black people should get reparations, but shouldn't expect it in everything in life. We do have to work hard for it, but Black people should get reparations. And thank you so much for letting me come on, man.
Not a problem. W for Puck, y'all. W for Puck. Nice guy. All right. Is your name Moses? Just to let you know, you have red bars. All right, y'all. Go ahead and keep tapping the screen. We have 19.1K likes. I do appreciate y'all being here. We got 127 people in here. Why don't you guys go ahead and keep liking the live and keep sharing it. Joaquin Brown, welcome to the stage. Just give me a moment. Let me talk to Moses first. Moses, are you there? Moses, are you there? You can turn off your microphone, Moses. Or you can turn on your microphone. All right, Moses going once. Unmute your microphone, Moses. Moses going twice. Up, he's not there. Excuse me. Moses must have got raptured, y'all. He must have got raptured. All right, Joaquin, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, man.
How's it going, Joaquin? Are you over 18?
Yeah, I'm 21.
Got you. Disagree with anything I got on the board?
I don't think on your last one, I'm a bigger fan of National Socialism.
You're a Nazi?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think America's for Americans, Europeans for Europeans. You know, Africa's for Africans. So
Are you sure you're a Nazi, or are you just trolling me?
I'm pretty sure, man.
Okay, cool. All right. No, I don't want to talk to Nazis. Nazis should jump. All right. So Just Sports, how's it going?
Hey, how we doing?
I'm all right, man. Are you at least 18?
I'm 22.
You're 22, and you disagree with anything I got on the board?
Yeah, I think I disagree with some of it. I don't really want to get into religion. I'm not that much of a religious person, but I do think that the whole woke, and I want to come off as respectful, by the way. I don't want to get in like a shouting argument or anything, just to put that out there. But I think like woke, and I guess it's not really a great word for it, but I just think that that whole energy around it is a big reason why the Democrats lost the election. And I mean, I can get into it more if you'd like, but I kind of want to hear what your definition of woke is, because I think people kind of want to give different definitions to it.
The definition of woke is the one that black people back in the early 20th century gave, which is awareness of racial and social injustice.
Yeah, and I think everybody can get behind that definition. I mean, I'm sure that, a lot of people want to say that Trump is a racist or whatever. But in reality, he's not. People close to him have testified to that. He's hired a ton of, minority groups within different positions of his administration and outside of that within his business. And, I think there's a lot of things that people do in the past that, what's that TikTok guy, Dean or whatever, he's said slurs in the past, but somehow now he's not racist because people change. And, I think the past used to be a lot more, and not just Trump. I think all of America used to be more racist. I think we all know that. But again, I think that this kind of woke mindset and, trying to all these football teams that changed their names and all brands that had to rebrand themselves, I think it just kind of worked backwards, and I think people were kind of sick of it, and they actually woke up to.
Okay, here's the problem with all that. None of that has anything to do with being woke.
Well, by your definition, I agree with you, and I think everybody should agree with that.
Right. So when conservatives started hearing, white college students say woke, all they did was take it and bastardize the term. And now everybody thinks woke is some bad thing.
Okay, but but the term that everybody kind of assumes, do you agree with me that is wrong? I mean, it's not good to have all this censorship and all this BS, because that's why he won in a landslide.
But the thing is, though, that's very, very vague. I have no idea what you're talking about. You're saying that a football team changed its name and people rebranded. So what?
Well, I think it just takes away from more representation. I mean, there's groups of Native. I'm from Arizona, so I'm around it a lot. There's groups of Native Americans that were absolutely pissed off that the Redskins had to change their name. They thought that they were getting less representation.
Okay. I mean,
So
like I'm not gonna
and it's just little things like that.
I'm not gonna take that away from them, but at the end of the day, like we know that Redskins was a slur back in the day, and that's where it came from. So if that's the case, if there was a team in America today called the N words with the hard R, like we would want them to change that name, wouldn't we?
Okay, well, I mean I feel like that's a lot different. I mean, there's Native Americans that all agree that was their favorite team. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure if there was a team called the N words today, there would be people who would say that's my favorite team.
I mean, I think that's a lot different.
Right.
That's all I want to say.
I got you. I think the reason why it's a lot different is because, like, you know, some words get less and less offensive over time, like colored and Negro. Those things are a lot less offensive over time now. But like in the beginning, when people wanted to be called African American, calling them colored or Negro was very, very offensive. And even now to today, if you call a black person colored, especially in America, they're going to be extremely offended. However, you go over to South Africa, it's going to be something completely different. You see what I'm saying? So it does depend. I do think it depends on time, but things like, you know, companies rebranding in a football team, changing their name because like it's associated with a time that this was a slur and, you know, it damaged people. We understand that Native Americans, you know, didn't like it, but at the end, you know, number one, it really has nothing to do with wokeness, and number two, so what? Like football teams, there are football teams that come and go. Like, what? I mean, I know that's not your main example. I know that's just an example you're giving. It's not the main overall point. But I think my point is when it comes to stuff like that, a lot of things that that people are be complaining about are not. They're not a big deal. So
well, this is
what
the
exactly
thing
are we?
that directly affects me. I mean, I'm in my last semester as a college student here, and I've had to write essays in a tone that isn't what I think because I've written essays, you know, no matter what the topic is. But if you write it in a sense that seems a little bit more conservative, especially me, I work in finance I'm studying finance. I'm going to work in finance. And like, if you talk in a way that isn't liberal and isn't, you know, this kind of democratic talk, you get a worse grade on your test or on your exam or on your essay. And I've had it happen
very weird to me, and I'm very sorry. It seems very weird to me that you can't speak in finance without being biased.
Oh, there's plenty of written. Well, I'm saying outside of finance, I've taken other classes as well. I haven't really had to write essays for finance as in and of itself.
Yeah, but such as what? Because like it is gonna depend. Like if I'm writing an anthropology paper, right, and then I write that, you know, the Ottoman Turks were, you know, and I denigrate the Ottoman Turks, yeah, I'm gonna get an F in that grade. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
I think again that kind of goes with what the topic is at hand. But I think in general, like if you look at it the other way, you know, if you're calling every single person that voted for Trump a bigot and a racist and a homophobe and all of this shit, that's in and of itself is not, you know, being open to people with other opinions.
I can be open to people with other opinions. It's just that the fact that there were a lot of Trump supporters who were in fact bigot, racist, homophobes.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that there are some people that are also racist that vote Democrat. I mean,
sure.
Exactly. So, I mean, you can't group all these people into one. Like, you know, if I say I voted for Trump, and then people are like, "You're a racist. You voted for a racist." You're like, I agree. I don't think Trump is the best candidate. I think that there are better people within the Republican Party that could have taken that over, but he's the one that had all of the momentum. I mean, he has all the popularity, and you know, he's done good things while in office for our economy. I could say that for a fact.
Like what?
Well, I mean, if we want to go down all the reasons, well, I believe in trickle-down economics. I know some people don't. You can laugh. I mean, you can laugh at me all you want, but you do know if you
no reputable economist, and the large majority of economists within this country that have studied it over the last 30 plus years since Reagan, the large majority, and I mean over 98%, have shown that trickle-down economics does not work.
Yeah, it's not a thing. Even Reagan's.
I agree with probably both of you on this, that there all these CEOs and these corporate leaders are greedy. But what's going to happen if you tax the shit out of them? They're going to find ways to raise their bottom line.
Actually,
It's
we've
just
seen
true.
that in America. By the way, hi, host. I just kind of jumped in and started talking. How are you doing?
I'm all right. Not a problem. I know that you may disagree with the last one. You might disagree with it, but I know. Ooh, crap.
That was Jesse on the bottom.
Oh, that was Jesse.
Democratic
That was Jesse. Okay,
socialism
not a
isn't-
problem.
no, I actually don't disagree with you completely on that.
Okay,
Because it is democratic socialism is watered down capitalism. I don't disagree with you on that.
Yeah,
Anyways,
it is.
Yeah,
But
so,
there's a reason why I say we have to do that first.
Yeah,
we'll
no,
get
I
into that.
totally understand you. And me, as I have many democratic socialist things that I believe in. I don't.
I gotta go.
disagree
I
that
gotta
it's
go.
capitalism.
I have food coming. I appreciate you guys being respectful. Maybe I'll come back again and we can talk some more.
All right, sure, no, not a problem. I appreciate you. Yeah, sucks we couldn't get into more until if you tax them more, because I know exactly what you're gonna get, what you were gonna go to. We did do it before. I think it was up to like 90%, and the marginal was like around 60, if I'm not mistaken. But
Yeah.
we did do it before.
Yeah, right
You know,
after the
so-
Great Depression, and we had one of the strongest economies in the fast recovery from the Great Depression. Like, we did great. We actually see that as we raise the corporate tax rate, it is very beneficial for not only corporations but for the middle class at the same time. I'm not suggesting we go back up to 90%, but lowering it to 15% is crazy, right? Like, we
Yeah.
should definitely be over 30.
Yeah, it just didn't work. Hey, Moses, are you there? Because like I don't think you're coming through. If you can hear me, Moses, please try to unblock or get, I'm guessing, better Wi-Fi. I'm not sure what's going on with yours. I got to bring my.
I didn't even read your bottom thing. Democratic socialism is better than capitalism. 100% it is. Sorry, I read it wrong. I thought you said it equals. My bad.
No, I said it's
read it
better.
wrong. Oh, it is much better. 100%.
Yeah, I was saying
Socialism as a whole is better than capitalism.
Gotcha. I'm sorry, Jonesy. Go ahead.
No, your background looks so much better. Hey, Polly, I'm fangirling. I just left your live to come to the mod.
How you doing?
Love you. Can I get a follow before TikTok goes down, just so I can make my last 5 days great? And we're going to capitalize off you being here. Please tap the screen, share the live. Any ops, please come up. If you disagree with any of these things here, please come up and debate these two very wise gentlemen. Also, any transphobia, homophobia, racism will be blocked and muted. So you can say whatever you like. You can disagree, but any of those things, I am going to automatically mute and block you. Thank you.
Appreciate you, Jonesy. W. Jonesy. Jeff, I think is here in the live. Moses, are you there? Can you hear us? It seems you can.
I can hear you, but can you hear me?
I can hear you. There you are.
Big
There
one.
you are.
Yeah, man. I guess my tapping. Every time I tap, it'll keep bringing me up. I just don't want to deal with MAGA, man. I can't handle them. Without blowing up.
No, it's all good. I know.
I'm not gonna get you live. Messed up. Stuff. I'm all about what's right, so I'm gonna stay with that. Within myself.
I got you. Hey, I appreciate you, though, Moses. I'm gonna let you down, and then we're gonna talk to more others. But still, continue to follow me. All right, I appreciate you.
I'm just a master tapper. That's all.
Not a problem.
For people that's trying to do the right thing.
Not a problem. I do appreciate you. W. Moses, y'all. W. Moses in the chat. What's up, that one? I know you're friendly. Go ahead and you can stay up as well. Paulie, I do appreciate you being here as well. Like, I think I've seen some of your content, loved it, and I just couldn't get back to it, so I couldn't follow. But I'm glad that you're here now.
You're good. I'm on my backup account right now because my main, as normal,
Yeah.
it got taken down, which is pretty normal.
You'll have that
But yeah, I was just coming to hang out. I heard the debate that you were having with that guy, and I really thought I would enjoy having that debate. It's a shame he had to leave.
Yeah, too bad. Team Dragons, you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
All right. Are you over 18?
Yes, sir.
All right. And do you disagree with anything I got on the board?
Oh, no, not at all. I just came to say I've been watching you for a while. I think you're great. I think all you guys are like really smart, and you're doing the good work. I won't say the Lord's work because I'm not Christian, so I'm gonna say the good work. Y'all are doing the good work out here, and I just appreciate y'all so much.
Hey, not a problem. I appreciate you being here. Mario Lopez, I think that's what your name is. Go ahead and come on up because I do know you disagree with me. Hey, what's up, Kayla? Yeah, Kayla's there. Hey, Kayla, I do see you, but I'm just kind of looking for ops. I'm gonna bring you up in a little bit. All right, Kayla? Give me 1 second.
So I can find a little bit of opposition, Volchi. I know we're mostly friendly, but like as I've watched the deterioration of like kind of our side of TikTok over the last year, like I just worry that like it doesn't do us any good to talk to ops. And that's what I mean as an op. Like shouldn't we be worried about our own solidarity? Because I don't know if you've noticed this in our community on TikTok, but like right wingers are better at solidarity than we are.
Yeah, matter of fact, I'm not even gonna disagree with that much. I think so too, because the one thing about the left that really annoys me is a lot of the infighting. You know what I mean? Like, even my last thing, my dim socialism is greater than capitalism. I kind of, whenever I get an ML or anarcho-syndicalist up here, I also have to let them know that, hey, this is what I mean by that. Like, I agree with you guys, but like, the working class in America doesn't understand what this is yet. So we have to go ahead and explain it to them. Not that they're slow, they're not stupid. It's just that years of American propaganda has made them think that, exactly. They made them think that socialism means that, men are going to get pregnant and paint their hair blue. It's craziness. You know what I'm saying? So we have to go ahead and introduce them to stuff first, and then we can push them over. You see what I'm saying? They're very indoctrinated. But I do agree with you though that we need to worry about moral clout, about solidarity, because right now the right has it. They got that solidarity. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, it took a fascist for it to happen. But my bad, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
Well, no, I just say that's the thing is that they don't. Once you're past the trust wall, they don't question. And like this is why I know this, right? I've been a registered Republican for a long time now. And in Colorado, the caucuses was closed for the Republicans, right? So you just have to be registered. But once you are, they will believe anything you say. I could literally read from my little red book and they would nod their head and be like, yup. Because once you're inside the line, right, there's flat earthers and MTG inner space lasers and like every conspiracy, like we'll notice this, that all these conspiratorial ideas, they still breed solidarity on the right. How many flat earthers?
Would you mind if I agree with you and disagree with you at the same time? Because like I completely agree that the right is definitely more in solidarity than the left is, and the left is freaking really more just a bunch of special interest groups that have joined together in some type, like trying to form some type of thing, which is why there's no agreement within it. It's one of the reasons I'm not a Democrat, because I can't even agree with their messaging or their side of things whatsoever. But I also disagree with speaking to people on the right as being ineffective, right? Because the people on the right that are already in solidarity, they're not the problem, right? They're not going to get turned regardless, right? And the people on the left that are solid in the left aren't going to be turned regardless, right? It's the people in the center that hear the debates and hear the difference in between the arguments that the left makes and the arguments that the right makes are the ones that are going to change future elections. They're the ones that changed this election. People that were already far left and far right, they didn't do anything with this election. It was the large majority of people in the middle, right? And so that's what we're making the argument.
I'm sorry, guys. Can we?
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Can we pause just for 1 second, because different salads did come up here about 5 minutes ago. I'm gonna introduce them. I'm gonna let you guys say the last thing, and then I'm gonna talk to different salads. Different salads, are you there?
Yeah, what's up?
I'm all right. Are you over 18, and do you disagree with anything I got on the board?
Yeah, I'm 21, and I disagree with the third one.
This is with 31 reparations for Black Americans. Okay, cool. Go ahead and mute up for me real quick. I want that one to respond to what he was trying to say to Paulie real quick, and then we're going to go ahead and talk about reparations. That one, go ahead.
Paulie, I just am not convinced that we agree where the middle is. Like, that's what I would say about this. I hear what you're saying, but like, I'm not sure what you think the middle and what I think. I'm not saying we couldn't come to an agreement. I'm just saying like the Dems aren't the middle. right? That's still the right.
I actually agree with
Still
that.
the right. I
Hillary
agree with that
Clinton,
100%.
And maybe not every single Dem is like a dyed in the wool right winger. Maybe not, but all the popular ones are.
I agree with that. I actually agree with that. Sorry, we're not going to have a disagreement on that. Like, I think that the Democratic Party has gone way too far right. Like, way, way, way too far right. The Democratic Party in itself is the conservative party in most forward-thinking countries in this planet.
Yeah, effects. I think that's the problem, is the Overton window, is that like Trump pushed it to the right so much that we're not sure where the middle is anymore, which is but you know what's kind of crazy? People kind of doubt that I say this. I actually think Bernie moved the Overton window a bit, because like, remember back in 2008, 2010, when Obama was in office, universal health care was such a nasty, ugly, dirty word. But if you go to middle America right now and say, hey, you think we should open up Medicare for everybody? They're probably open to it. You know what I'm saying? And it took Bernie being on the stage talking about that for the window to move, which is, I think it's kind of crazy. Now, of course, I know there are issues with Bernie. I know people have issues with Bernie. You know what I mean? But I think he actually moved it a little bit when it came to that.
I'm a full Bernie bro, dude. Like,
yeah, I got
not
you.
gonna find too many issues with me on him.
Gotcha. Okay, so different salads is up here. I do apologize, different salads. Let's go ahead and have a talk. Now you're gonna be talking to me mostly. I know my 3 pounders are up here. Let's try to not jump him, guys, because he's the only one who kind of disagrees. But different salads. You said that you disagree with reparations for Black Americans. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Give me well, not give me. Well, I'll give you about 30 seconds to a minute. Go ahead and tell me why you disagree.
Yeah, well, I mean, I agree with reparations for like foundational Black Americans, but not for immigrants.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I agree.
Oh, you agree? Okay, cool. Never mind.
Yeah, that's what I meant by Black Americans. Like I'm Haitian, right? So, but my parents came here in the 1970s. So reparations were to happen, then I don't think that my parents should get any. Now, does America actually owe Haiti something? Yeah, they do, but that should come after African Americans receive their reparations. That makes sense?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I would say the French, for most, owe you guys.
Oh yeah, the French owe us. I was just only talking about America because of the invasion back in 1920. But the French is the one who owes us actual reparations. But yeah, I agree.
I got you. All right, cool, man. That's all I had to say.
All right, not a problem. I appreciate you. Let's see. Did I have anyone else? Oh yeah, Kay wanted to come up, and is that Lauren White? Lauren Wright, I'm not sure if you are in disagreement. I do know Kay is a friendly of mine, but I'll go ahead and bring you both up. Lauren, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I was just laughing at reparations because I was in this insane live for so long where all of these white people were coming up and being like, I just wanted to like tell you the tea, because these white people were like, I don't owe you anything. Like, and then they were trying to say that like the indentured servants in Ireland were like the same as having slaves, and like you should just pull yourself up by the bootstraps.
No, they were not. That is not true.
Oh, I was on a different live like for a little while.
Right. No, she's saying that's what they were claiming. They were claiming that the Irish people, we know they weren't. Yeah, it's insane.
Oh, I know. I'm like, I understand what she was saying because she was from the other live, and I cannot stand when they say that. Because Volsi knows I'm a Black American, like a foundational Black American. Like my roots actually go back to Tennessee. So I just find I hate it when they say that, because first of all, indentured servitude was not comparable to chattel slavery. It just wasn't. In fact, they could. It was something they volunteered to do, and they were able to. Be able to buy themselves out after 7 years. It was basically something they were. Black Americans did not volunteer to be in chattel slavery, right? You can't volunteer to do that, and So I'm like, so when they try to say that, it's just so aggravating because it's not the same. It's not the same. And let's say even if it were, right, the Irish received reparations when they were able to assimilate into whiteness. Okay, so it's not the same concept. Black people can't assimilate into whiteness because of their phenotype.
And you know what's crazy is that like indentured servitude and slavery in colonial law, it was actually made different, which is insanity, which proves that. Hey, babe.
It was.
All right, I'm sorry,
like,
Kate,
the Virginia laws of indentured servitude. Yeah, the laws of indentured servitude, specifically in Virginia, where the first enslaved Africans were brought to the United States, they made very clear distinctions between between indentured servants and chattel slaves. You are absolutely correct. So I find it to be it's historically inaccurate and it's purposely obtuse, because I've actually gotten into whole arguments about that with people in real life, like the Irish and what the Irish and Italians went through is not comparable to what Black people have historically gone through in this country. It just isn't.
Just isn't. Janet, are you there?
I am. Somebody invited me up here, I think possibly because I asked a question, and I apologize if this is a stupid question, but when you're talking about reparations, can you tell me what that would look like? I just haven't done I don't normally do political TikToks and stuff. I normally am more theological, but I'm just curious as to what that would look like. I'm not against it. I'm just curious because I hear people say the word, and I'm not sure if that is fine. I assume that it is finances, but my assumption could be totally wrong. So I'm just curious.
Yeah, that's correct. It will be financial. It will look like, in my opinion, what it should look like is exactly what the Japanese got. When the Japanese got reparations, like the government literally sent them out checks, like cash money checks. It was that. And there are other ideas. Like, for example, I've heard of a negative taxation for Black Americans. I'm not sure how that would work. And of course, there's the lukewarm programs. That one is an idea, but I don't think that should happen, in my opinion. Oh, and Team Dragons also said another one, land back. But land back is mostly for Native Americans, if I'm not mistaken. And just to clear it up, I do think Native Americans deserve reparations too, because they got screwed. You know what I mean? They got
probably
screwed
more than anybody. But hey, man, I gotta jump down. I really apologize, but thank you for having me up, man. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna come back.
Not a problem. I'll give you a follow. Thank you, Paul.
Absolutely.
No problem. But yeah, I think the natives definitely deserved it too. They should get land back and more control over their land. As a matter of fact, because they got screwed on those reservations. I don't think this is a controversial one for a lot of people who are like super yay Americana. I don't think Mount Rushmore should even exist. You know what I mean?
Gosh, you're so right. That is so. I saw something about that, and it was just heartbreaking. And my husband had wanted to go there, and I was like, you know what? I have been reading about that, and I don't even feel right going there and looking at that. It's really sad.
Yeah, like my sister went there and she was sending me pictures, and I was like, how was going to see Colonizer Mountain? And her husband was laughing, but I'm like, that's what it is. It's Colonizer Mountain.
You're right. It is.
Well, it's smaller than Crazy Horse. And it's also, you can go to the backside and see the grandfather still a little bit. But like, it's essentially an act of genocide.
It really is. It's like a victory mountain over where they committed genocide at, you know what I mean? But in my opinion, if Rushmore was to stay there, they should reform it into what's the famous Native American, like Geronimo and people like that, that who should be on Mount Rushmore, not the colonizers we have there now,
I agree. Well, thanks for answering my question. I just kind of wanted to learn a little bit more about that.
Not a problem, Janet. I appreciate you being up here.
All right, thanks.
Bambi, are you there?
Hello, can you hear me all right?
I actually can hear you. Are you over 18, and do you disagree with anything I have on the board?
Yes, I'm 19, and I disagree with one thing, and I wanted to.
Hey, Joffrey.
I just wanted to ask you some questions on another thing. The questions are short, so do you mind if we start with that?
Yeah, sure. You can start with the questions or whatever you disagree with, whichever one.
My questions. We'll start with that. It's just a very conflicting problem with me, and it's kind of funny because I always grew up in a house where like folk music was a really big thing. And I know this is strange. This is like out of nowhere. And with the Bob Dylan movie coming out and stuff like that, I've always been a fan of him. And I saw that he played at the March on Washington. And I'm just kind of confused on whether, I know you don't speak for the whole African American community, but you yourself, do you see him as an activist? Because yes, he did perform there, but then you have his song like The Hurricane where he uses a slur. So like, do you have any thoughts and opinions on Bob Dylan or something like that?
I know Bob Dylan because he's before my time. I was born in '87, so Bob Dylan's before my time. I have heard some pretty good music from Bob Dylan, but I have heard that what you're talking about, with the hurricane where he did use a racial slur. Is like when it comes to Bob Dylan, it's like I don't really have an opinion. You know what I mean? Because it's like he's a talented guy. I know he's folk music, and he came out with a lot of good music. I think I'm a big fan of the show The Orville. They used to play his music a lot on The Orville. You know what I mean? So he was pretty cool, but it's like I don't really have much of an opinion. You know what I mean? I don't know his activist history, so it's not something that I can give a fair opinion on, if that makes sense.
No, that totally makes sense.
Yeah. Also, I think that one wanted to answer as well. That one, go ahead.
Yeah, I got a few notes on that. I've listened to a lot of Bob Dylan. Have you listened to any Bob Dylan?
Me?
Yeah. I've listened to a few Bob Dylan. There's one song that I really like. I think it was called "The Girl Is Special to Me." I think that's what it was called. It was one of the lyrics like that. But I just really like it.
I mean, so I don't know if you knew this, but I've been doing this like old-fashioned anti-fascist songs and stuff live a lot. And so Bob Dylan openly denies revolution. His songs are very much anthems to those different ideologies and stuff. But like when you say he's before your time, it's not. He has made records since we've been adults even. So, but he's just not, because he didn't stand behind it, right? Like if you look at other types of artists that like stood by their revolutionary talk, right? Bob Dylan isn't one of them.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense? Like, his stuff at the time was incredibly revolutionary in like Masters of War is something that they just ignored before Bob Dylan said it. Right. And they've remade that song and like made it make sense to new youthful people over and over and over again. Like he also did a lot of like half covers of like old not quite as good as say a Utah Phillips or like I don't know. I would even say that Pete Seeger is a little bit more like earnestly a good guy. You know what I mean? Like Bob Dylan, like made his money and was done. You know, and like kind of stepped out and decided that he wanted to be like, rich and left the fuck alone.
Gotcha. Yeah. But Bambi, what did you disagree with?
I disagree with socialism over capitalism.
Sure. Why is that?
I know a big part of this talking point. And, thank you, that one, for that information. I just wanted to say thank you. But I don't know if it's like just what I've been integrated to, but I've heard a lot about like just capitalism, and I took like a macroeconomics class in college. I'm a political science major, so I just like the Keynesian model and stuff like that. So I'm not too studied up on socialism. Could you please explain it to me?
Yeah, sure. Socialism is basically the collective ownership or the public ownership of the means of production, and what that means is that the means of production, meaning like equipment in factories, things like that, things that you use to produce things. We as a society, as the workers, we own and operate. We own them and allocate the resources for them, and what else I was going to say? Basically, it has a system of basically workplace democracy, where all the work in a society is basically democratized. Where like wherever you work at, I'm not sure where you work at, but wherever you work at, instead of like in the company or by shareholders, you and your fellow workers decide who the managers are going to be. Does that make sense?
Oh, so like HR is the workers.
HR actually is the workers, yeah. Because right now HR isn't the workers. HR is the lackey for the corporation.
Okay. So
Right. All the people are the workers. Like even in a scheme where we recognize that some management and supervisory positions are necessary, there's not like a drastic change in economics. Right. And like the labor, the value of the labor is distributed equitably. And like, and you get to have a democracy of who gets paid and how, and people, what you get paid. So things like benefits, and you have like a local say in the economics of your job market.
Where did this whole negative narrative of socialism come from? Why is that kind of a buzzword in media now? Because that
now, because there was 100 years of anti-social, like they used to unalive people in public for being socialists. Like they made it a filthy, dirty, dangerous word to use.
Yeah, and not only that. Sorry about that. We actually had an adversarial relationship with the USSR, and the USSR was a quote unquote socialist country. So everything that the USSR did was a competition to America. We have to do the opposite, and that's the reason we have "In God We Trust" on our money now, because the USSR was officially an atheist state. So if they were atheists, we were going to be Christian. You know what I mean? This actually caused more issues in the Middle East itself, because when the USSR invaded Afghanistan and other Middle Eastern countries, America propped up, Muslim and Islamist organizations, because and Reagan did this as well, because they wanted to uplift like people who kind of believed in God, believed the same way that Christians did, essentially, and they view like Islam as like a brother religion to Christianity, and that's why they did all
Which technically it is.
It is, yeah. It basically is. They're basically twins. You know what I mean? So that's where all the issues with socialism came from. It's because essentially they used to actually be a major socialist party in the United States, and the reason why it doesn't exist anymore is because of essentially the robber barons. They didn't want to lose their money. You know what I mean? People like, sorry about that. Give me a sec.
Oh man, it's not even that subtle. Even that subtle. There are still states where it's illegal to be those things and run for office.
I was what's it called? I watched Oppenheimer, and I'm reading American Prometheus right now, and that's a big part of his life, was his past connections to the Communist Party. And
Moses, yes, I saw Jasper Crockett in action today. I'm like, she ate Nasty Mace up, honey. Okay, just that's my sister.
I gotta be on his lives. I'll be on. But yeah, Bambi. When it comes to Oppenheimer, that's one of the most like worst things.
Jasmine Crockett is a Congress member.
Oh, the Congress member. Okay, yeah, I gotta be on.
She's a
there.
congresswoman.
Gotcha.
Remember Bad Bill Butch Body?
I remember Bad Bill Butch Body. Yeah. Yeah, she be eating them up. But yeah, Bambi, when it just like in the case of Oppenheimer, and not only just Oppenheimer, but many other of the scientists that were around his time, like when it came to American public like policy, we used to depend on the scientists a lot. You know what I mean? And now we don't because of, you know, a lot of the scientists are, of course, very, very progressive. And when they look at society, they're like, maybe we should set up society this way. It'll be better for the people. And it just, it just weren't. Give me 1 second, Bambi, okay? Chief, are you over 18?
What's up, y'all?
What's up? Are you over 18 and do you disagree with what I have on the board?
I'm over 18 and I totally agree with everything on the board. I'm surprised that I agree with everything on the board. It's just nice to meet a like-minded individual.
All right, cool. Well, I appreciate you. We're gonna keep talking to Bambi for just a bit, okay?
That's cool.
So yeah, Bambi, does all that make sense? That's where all really comes from.
Yeah, and one of the main talking points that I've heard that kind of criticizes socialism is sort of how resources are distributed. Because if you have the centralized planning, right? If you have equally distributed resources, let's say to somebody in Pennsylvania, somebody in California, right? And for example, Pennsylvania gets firewood. Like that is a resources that is distributed. And California gets the resource of firewood distributed equally. Like that kind of doesn't make sense because like it's on fucking fire right now. So like I see like that resource allocation of sort of equally being distributed through states can cause problems. And I was wondering your response on that.
Oh yeah, when it comes to like allocation of resources, essentially these kind of things is going to be the same thing that we have now. These like states and different governing bodies of workers, they're going to communicate. They're going to They're going to see what does California need, what does Minnesota need, how do we do this in between each other. Like it's cooperation, you feel me? It doesn't have to be an antagonistic relationship. So that's always been the thing. We found that cooperation between bodies actually works better than competition, you know what I mean, and just trying to make the most money. Instead, what we should do is we're trying to figure out what's best for both of our societies. What's best for mine, what's best for yours, what's best for both of us, and let's work together to actually get to the best solution. As far as like a plan to actually do that, they'll talk to each other to see what the plan is. Like if California needs, you know, water, and a certain other state has an excess amount of water, then it can be sent to California and still be able to, feed the people who are there. You know what I'm saying? In the previous state. Does all that make sense, Bambi? They all talk to each other. It's not something that they'll be fighting over the resources.
And I guess that's kind of like, you know, the integrated capitalist in me is that I guess I assume the antagonist relationship there with the central body. When you're right, it doesn't essentially need to be that. It can just be like, well, these people do have phones and emails. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that is fair.
Gotcha.
Old-fashioned way of saying is that these people have names and addresses.
Yeah,
like this isn't happening anonymously. This assassination of our existence is they've got addresses.
So would business? There's a big thing in American law where businesses have freedoms too. In a socialist society, do businesses lose these freedoms?
Like there were no white slaves,
or do they gain more freedoms? Because it would seem as if they sort of lose it. Right?
Yeah. Let me just answer one thing. Like Kayla said, Mike, there were no white slaves. So Stop that. Now, there
Indentured
were,
servitude is not slavery.
it's not slavery. It's not the same
So
thing.
get that out of your head.
Yeah, if you're talking about the Barbary slave trade, then you need to talk to the Ottoman Empire about that. Talk to Turkey about that. If you think that white people or the descendants of Barbary slaves would need to have reparations from Turkey, go ahead, talk to Turkey about it.
No, they were the white. I'm like the white Irish people were indentured servants, not slaves.
They were not slaves. Let me just answer this last thing, Kayla, and then we'll go ahead and get back to it. All right. Kinda. I do see you. I'm gonna go ahead and get to you in a moment. Chief, is it okay? I'll let you down for a bit because I don't want everything to get.
You should just let me down, brother.
I'll just let you down. Okay.
Thanks for having me.
Not a problem. Chief, you can stay up if you want. All right. So, Bambi, crap, I think I forgot what happens to businesses? What the rights do they have? The businesses would still exist. You know what I mean? It just won't operate in the way that it operates right now. Right now, businesses operate on a hierarchy. The CEO basically doesn't really care how the businesses run. The managers under him run everything, and all he cares about is profit. The owner all cares about is profit. The managers under him make sure that they get profit somehow, some way. Doesn't matter. They put those policies to the middle managers, and everybody else just works. You see what I'm saying? When it comes to more of a democratic system, the workers would then decide who their managers and possibly even their CEOs are. A lot of people think under this system, like no one will be able to become a millionaire or whatever. It's still possible to become a millionaire or even a billionaire. It'll just be less likely because people are getting everything that they need. So there's no like really big rush to become a millionaire or a billionaire because you have everything that you need already. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it would be more evenly distributed, the wealth, and I mean by that. So you're saying that businesses would still have rights. It's just I'm understanding.
I'm like, Valsi, do I still have mod privileges? Because I want to kick Mike so bad. He's doing the most in the comments, and it's so aggravating.
You still should. If you don't, I'm gonna give it to you right now. Just give me a second. Go ahead, Bambi. What you were saying?
I understand what you mean by democratic socialism now, where we pick the CEO. So there's obviously still an entity that is a business, and that entity still has rights. It's just that who chooses that CEO is left up to the workers. So that makes a lot of sense.
Exactly. Kay, you do have mod powers. You can go ahead and kick people out if you want.
Thank you so much.
I don't see it, but for some reason.
That's weird. Try swiping, I'll come back. All right, yeah, no problem, Bambi. I do appreciate you being up here.
All right, have a good night.
But I'm like, kinda. Do you want to go? What do you disagree with?
If you do disagree with anything,
because because I haven't heard you talk.
Any of y'all seem like nice people, but like, why should I pay for representations for Black Americans when it's not even in my lifetime?
Gotcha. Okay, can you pause me for just a second? I'm sorry, Kay. I know you want to get on this. I know you get on that. Just pause me for a second. C. Krog, are you there?
Especially as a Black American, I definitely want to get on.
I know.
I was just gonna ask, pay for what?
Okay. Go ahead. Pause me, C. Krog. Are you over 18 and do you disagree with anything on the board?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm over 18, and I just have a couple questions. One of them would actually be the reparations, since we're already in that.
Gotcha. Pause me real quick. We're gonna talk to Kinda first. Kayla and Chief, you guys are the Black Americans on the post. I'm Haitian, and I know y'all want to get on this. So, Kay, you could go first, and then Chief, you could go next. And to answer Kinda, you're asking why should you pay for reparations? Kayla, go ahead and get on it.
Well, first, it's not just about what you as an individual have done in your lifetime, because that's not what this is about. It's about the structures of the country in which they were built. And normally when we have this conversation, what I find to be so interesting is that people think this is just about slavery, and it's not. But I'm like, because after slavery, there was also Jim Crow, and Jim Crow I literally still have living family members who lived through Jim Crow, which would be, I don't know how old you are, which would be your parents or your grandparents, I believe. generation, right? I'm like, and so literally, this is about, I'm like structural inequalities that Black Americans have experienced, and then I'm like, and then being paid. For those being paid for those experiences. It's not just about you as an individual, but it's more so about the structures of white supremacy that this country is built off of, and that white people, regardless of what you have done in your lifetime, you still benefit from those structures and from those systems. So regardless if you as an individual have done anything to a Black person, that's not what that's about. So reparations are not about that.
Yeah, reparations are not about you.
I see where you're coming from, but here's the thing: I still wasn't born, even though if I do benefit from this system, y'all say, which I know there is one, but even if I do benefit, why do I myself have to pay?
Let me ask you a question.
Because the privileges that you benefit from were literally built off of the bodies of enslaved people, and and built off the genocide of natives. That's why.
And I also want to ask you. I also want to ask you another question, kinda, because you say why should you pay? Here's the thing: number one, you're not paying, and I don't know. I already know what you're gonna say, because you're not paying. The government's gonna pay.
First,
I already know what you're gonna say is that we pay the government, right?
I wasn't gonna say that, but go off.
Okay, yeah, but you're not paying. The government pays.
Okay.
Because also keep in mind, when slavery was initially abolished here in the United States, Black Americans were promised, I believe, land, basically offered, were promised by the United States government land, basically land and a mule, right, which would be equivalent to generational wealth. Which would be equivalent to generational wealth over generations, and because of the history of redlining within this country, and also, like I named, the history of Jim Crow and all of that, Black Americans are behind because, well, we weren't allowed to participate for 400 years.
Right. Now, is that all understood, kinda, or are you still having issues understanding reparations?
I mean, I get it. All
right, cool. Was there anything else you disagree with?
I mean, me personally, I think it's great. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to make sure Chief wanted, because he's another Black American. I wanted to see if he wanted to say anything.
I'm honored that I'm one of the whitest Americans, I'm an honorary Black American, but I appreciate that.
Oh,
okay. I thought you were. My bad. I thought you were.
Okay, Volsi said you were.
Yeah, I thought he was.
Okay.
I thought he was. My bad.
I'm honored. I'll take it. But yeah, I'm actually white, just to be clear.
Gotcha. I thought you were. My bad. All right, but kinda. Was there anything else you disagree with, or you just needed to understand about reparations?
I mean, me personally, I think America's great. Well, it was never perfect. We can all say that. But there were times that we came together and it was great.
There were. I do agree that America has done. Let's say America has done good things, right? We could agree with that. If we go down a line, an extensive list, I'm pretty sure there's going to be something that we find that America did good, right? The thing is, when I say that it was great, the way I explain it is that America, when it comes to a country, right? What makes a country great to me is a country that that affords everyone equal opportunity and equal rights under the law, no matter their race, religion, sexual orientation, or gender identity. You know what I'm saying? America right now, America not only has never had that, even up until now, the opportunities afforded to you are still affected by your race, your gender identity, your sexual orientation, and your economic status. So until we fix all that, it's not great.
I think a good way to start would be to remove race from job applications, make it illegal to ask what race someone is on a job. It's so unnecessary. It's one of the most unnecessary questions you could possibly ask on a job application.
But also keep in mind when someone, even if we remove, let's say race was removed from job applications, when that person goes in to that office, like let's say for an interview, they're going to know what race someone is. So that does not, so removing the race off the application alone does not
that's
well,
just
fix
one
systematic issues.
That's just one example of, I think, one easy solution that we could all agree on right now, right? Like that at least gets more people in the door, more opportunity.
Gotcha.
Easy. We could all agree on that regardless of what team you're on,
Gotcha. Pause real quick, everybody. All right. C. Krog, you're there?
Yeah, how's it going, man?
I got you. All right. So you had a few questions. What did you disagree with, or what questions did you have?
Yeah, kind of wanted to, I guess, piggyback off of what Kinda was like asking and go off of what you guys were saying, off of some of your responses. When we talk about the reparations, how would this benefit Black Americans?
The way it will benefit Black Americans is right now the wealth that average Black American family has compared to the wealth that average white American family has is about triple less. You feel what I'm saying? So the average Black American family has about, if I'm not mistaken, Kayla could
I think it's like, is it like 50, 60, 40, somewhere around there?
It's around $4,000, and the average white American has about $230,000 in wealth. Yeah. So how would it help is that it would equal that out. It would be more equitable, and because of that wealth disparity, Black Americans have a lot less opportunities in the United States, and are born into a lot more poverty. So if we were to distribute reparations, the wealth will not only would the wealth equal out, but the poverty would also decrease. And that would actually be better for America, because America spends about 25% of its budget servicing poverty. So if we help the poorest of Americans actually get out of poverty, which Black Americans and Native Americans disproportionately are, it would not only improve their lives, it would improve America.
Yeah. So I actually got I got a question on like this part, which I think that it would have to be way different form of reparations, and I can go into this because if we're pumping money from the government into Black American families, right? We know there's a system that white people have a hierarchy in the United States government system. Like we already know that.
Right.
So if we're pumping money from the government into Black households that are going to spend this money, they're just going to make the white people more wealthier, and it's still going to be a disparity.
Well, yeah, I agree, which is why
like a stimulus check. You're dumping money.
I agree with you. I actually agree with you, in fact, which is why I believe a portion, like part of reparations, I actually believe should be about help fixing the educational systems specifically in predominantly Black neighborhoods, and I think that actually should be a part of it. Investing in more predominantly Black businesses, so that way that the money can transfer to, and also education on financial literacy within Black communities. All of that, I believe, should also be a part of the conversation around reparations for Black Americans. So I actually do not disagree with you.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that either, because I do think it should also go into, just like how Kayla said, one thing I've always said is that I think that in high school, especially in high schools that were red line and red line areas, all students should be able to graduate with a trade. You know what I mean? That could help them out getting back into the job market. It should go into housing, because a lot of areas within the poor Black neighborhoods that were redlined, they're renting these houses. They don't own them. So it should go into owning these homes. So the wealth goes into them. And not only that, if reparations were to happen, it should be set up as a freedmen's bank, meaning that it's a bank specifically for African Americans, and it's like investment and just like how we said investment, literacy and things like that. I think those things should happen as well. Would y'all mind giving me 1 second? I want to introduce someone else. Sad, are you still there? Sad Goy?
Yeah, I'm here.
Isn't GOY a slur?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to remove you, bro. I'm sorry about that. I can't have slurs on the live because I heard that. I didn't know that that's a slur for Jewish people. But yeah, C-Krog and kinda. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah, I could definitely. I could definitely see
And
where.
girl, I'm like, and you know we do. You do not want to get your lives like taken down. You know they love to suppress black creators on here, honey.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so like what Kay was saying, I could definitely agree on. I know I've heard other creators would say like money payment, but like I feel like you could do.
I don't think money payment, and I disagree with them. In fact, I think money payment should be a part of it, but it's not the only thing, right? Like, I'm like, because let's say you get money payment, right? A lot of black people are not educated on like financial literacy, like business planning, etc. Right? Due to like being further away from resources. Right. So I actually think that it has to be multiple things at once. It has to be financial literacy. It has to be about improving the educational systems within predominantly black neighborhoods. It has to be multiple things. It cannot just be a payout because once if you pay out and you have this community of people that does not know what to do with the money or how to allocate it properly, because they're not educated on financial literacy, then like you said, again, it goes back into the white community, which does not fix the issues that has affected black Americans for generations, like histories of redlining and being barred from education and stuff like that. So I actually do not disagree as a black American.
Right, that's what I was saying. Like, if anyone ever asks me my opinion, I would say, as with that payment that goes out, the school system, especially in these neighborhoods. Like, for example, I grew up in Miami-Dade County, right? There's a school
I know
there
Miami-Dade County very well, very well.
Right.
I know Miami-Dade.
I'm from Philadelphia, for example.
Yeah. So there's a school down there where it's called Turner Technical School, where every student graduates with a trade. So if you're a student there, you're either going to be graduating as an LPN, a CNA, a plumber, a welder, something like that. And these are very, very good jobs. Like, think about it: a 17 or 18-year-old graduated as an LPN, automatically making $25 an hour. A lot of them may not even need to go to college. You know what I'm saying? Which would bring down the cost of college down significantly. You feel me? I think these are good things to do. Now, of course, we want more black people to go to college and be engineers and stuff like that, but not every single one needs to do it. You see what I mean? That gives them more opportunity.
Be able to be doctors our teachers, because we need more black doctors and teachers.
Exactly. Now, those who want to go to college, they can do it, and those who didn't know what to do with their lives, hey, I have a plumbing certification. I'll be a plumber.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with you on that. I grew up in North Atlanta, and we actually had one of those. My buddy went to it and now works at Chevrolet as a car mechanic. Got a job straight out of high school and everything, which I think it should be somewhere a law, federal funding for every school district in America to have one of those. I think it would solve that. We see job shortages everywhere. People can't fill positions, so it's definitely something.
And can I be honest with you, host? Can I be perfectly honest with you?
Sure.
I am Republican. I'm also lesbian. Okay. My girlfriend is black. Okay. I prefer the black, but I never grew up in that community. Does that make sense? I could never, grew up in that community. Does that make sense? And. And I will say this in terms of where I'm originally from, a small town, California. Small town. Our first object was whites and Asians. Okay, we had an Asian community, a big Asian community, and I will say this: the only time I've ever looked at black people was in movies. Okay, of what you guys.
I'm the only one.
Right? But I'm just saying, I'm just being honest with you, host. I'm just being honest with you. Okay?
Sure.
And don't hate me for it, okay? With what the movie showed.
No, we're not.
Okay, thank you. But you understand where I'm coming from in terms of how I see.
You're just talking about your experience, so I don't have an issue with that.
Experience. Yeah, and it's experience. It's not. It's in every. It's like, okay, I've also had black people rob me. You know what I mean? And I've been in a drive-by. Okay, since I've been here in Dallas, Texas. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I knew that was gonna happen soon. So yeah, that was very, very awkward. I knew that was gonna happen soon.
Yeah. That was,
all right, but
I'm like, and I used to live in. By the way, it's so ironic because I actually used to live in Dallas, Fort Worth area. So that's actually really ironic. Child, I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I need to go back to visit some of my friends in Dallas because I miss Whataburger and Jack in the Box.
Oh my God,
we don't have those in Norris.
when I was in the military and I was able to get out and do some Whataburger. Oh, that was so good. But yeah, C-Krog and kind of you guys kind of understand where we're coming from, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I got another one. Maybe I have a couple of questions on. I don't know if we.
Sure.
So the being woke. Are you talking about like the original like definition? I know there's a bunch of people.
I'm like, I mean, yes, it's been co-opted. Yeah, the original.
I was going to ask. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the actual original. The actual original definition,
not the one that's been co-opted by white supremacist bigots.
Reclaiming that word, that should have been saying every time someone says, "Oh, you're one of those woke dudes." I'm like, yeah, like I woke up this morning and I'm aware, I have consciousness. Where are you at?
Yeah, exactly.
And I find it so ironic when I get called a liberal. Every 5 fucking seconds when I'm literally not I'm actually independent. I am not a liberal.
Right.
So,
I got a good explainer for that one too. I like to describe liberal and conservative as two different strategies you're using in a game.
I'm like, I always say liberalism is like just brownie points for white people. I am not a liberal. Okay.
On a scientific level, we studied it. What we found out is that conservatives care more about their inner circle, and liberals have the capacity to extend their empathy further past that inner circle than a conservative would, right? So there's still everybody has a boundary, right? Like how much you really care about people you don't know. But liberals tend to be able to extend empathy to people they don't know much better than conservatives.
Which is kind of, I find that interesting. Yeah. And I've always said the same thing. I'm a leftist in the same vein as Huey P. Newton, Malcolm X, and MLK. Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, like, I really wish that the Black Panthers lasted more and lasted longer, because I think the black community would be a lot less, homophobic and transphobic, because Huey P. Newton, one of his last letters was to support the LGBTQ community. That was one of his last things to say. You know what I mean? And
but also keep in mind, I'm like, even with that though, like the misogynoir and colorism that was in the Black Panther, I'm like,
yeah. I mean, as a society, we already have misogyny problems, so of course the Black Panthers are gonna have it. Yeah, I mean, but it's like,
and then
I feel you. And the colorism,
because when the women were describing in the Black Panther Party what they experienced, I'm like, oh, girl.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, the Black Panther Party had a lot of that, because a lot of them came from the. I don't want to insult street dudes, but a lot of them who came from the street didn't get educated, so it caused that problem, and then of course Huey had his own problems, so yeah.
God, don't even get me started on certain Black Panther members and. Because, honey, if we get into some of the problematic we will not be able to get off this line.
I mean, there were problems in the Panthers. They were the best ones we had, but there were problems.
They were but still, like, I can't get behind that misogynoir and that sexism.
Right? The ability to self-criticize definitely distinguishes the civil rights movement from a lot of other movements that fail, I think. So just having that ability to look back and say, hey, look, we're growing past that we're even able to criticize ourselves. If you look at your opponents, they're not able to do that. So they're not evolving. They're not getting better over time. They're stagnating, right? It's like,
yeah, it's just that I think if they lasted, then all the issues that existed that we would have seen, they would have like slowly gone away, slowly and painfully, of course, but it would have
very painfully, extremely.
Yeah, it would have been painful for it to go away, but it would have gone away more and more often. But yeah, the Panthers had problematic issues.
You're really on to something when you say you're fighting dogma. I'm right there with you. I'm in the struggle against dogma, right? Science over dogma. I think that would honestly liberate so many people all over the planet. Doesn't matter what color you are.
But they don't want to be liberated, honey.
Like trading schizophrenia for reality and logic. Math.
Hey,
guys. I feel like religion should be classified with schizophrenia.
Host, I have a question for you. Well, not necessarily. Before I get out of here, I think that you could have a religion.
No, that was a
based
joke,
on science.
chef.
Yeah, he was joking. Good joke. Hey, y'all, pause. Everybody, pause real quick. Everybody, pause real quick. C-Krog had a question for me, and I am going to go ahead and get off. We have about 40,000 likes and 63 people in here, but I'm out of guests, so we're going to go ahead and get out of here right after C-Krog asks his question. Go ahead, C-Krog.
Yeah. So just the first quick question: how old are you by chance? What age range?
37.
37. So I work with a lot of older people, and we were talking about this the other day. So in your lifetime, do you think America right now, during your lifetime, is the most divided it's been in your lifetime, basically?
In my lifetime, it seems so. Yep. Now, because I'm only 37. I'm not through Jim Crow. So in my life, it does seem so.
Well, that's what he asked in your specific lifetime.
Yeah, true. Yeah, in my lifetime, it does seem a lot more divided. You know what I mean? Now, I think a lot of the feelings that we're seeing right now, it's only coming out because we have the internet. Back when I was growing up in the 90s, you only had AOL forums. You know what I mean? We didn't have this. Now that we have stuff like this, now people are seeing these feelings a lot more, and they're being amplified a lot more. So it is causing a divide. But I do think these feelings have always existed. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I can feel that because I'm only 23, and this is a couple of years ago when I was a kid, man. I'm just man, what happened so quickly? I'm this shit's crazy, and a lot of it I can see that we're all on here talking.
Strategy. It's the divide and conquer strategy right in front of our faces, and people are taking the pill. But there's a really good solution for this. I wanted to pass on to everyone. There's this guy called Gnostic Informant, and if you're not familiar with this guy yet, it's probably one of the best informational tools we have against dogma. And they're going back through the ancient mysteries, and they're profaning everything. They're just pulling the hood off of all the ancient secrets and really kind of exposing things for what they are. And when you have that perspective, it's impossible to...
Paul, where did you get that anyone hates America on here? Saying that America has never been quote been great is not saying that you hate America.
Mean we hate America. Yeah,
I just feel corporate America is profiting off of the division, and it's driving social media. X has a specific type group of people on there, and they're making money off of it. So they let that shit go. It drives more engagement. It lets out people's true colors. Possibly people engage on there, say crazy stuff for likes, money. So I just think it's all a crazy mess, man.
Yeah, it's a mess, and you did hit it on the head. When I was growing up, we had MySpace, right? And MySpace was your own website. But now we have Facebook, and
I had one in middle school.
Yeah, I had a MySpace in middle school and high school.
It was at the end of the MySpace era because that was 2008. I had created a MySpace in 6th grade.
It was towards the end, and then YouTube took over, and then Facebook came out. You know what I mean? So, it does amplify it.
Oh, I remember old YouTube. How cute.
I remember old YouTube. Remember old YouTube where you used to be able to inbox people?
we're the only makeup influencer that was a woman of color, not even a black woman. It was Michelle Phan.
Michelle, I remember that. I remember her. Yeah, she had hundreds of thousands of people. But the algorithm credits people.
Those
the algorithm,
transformations were amazing, though.
they were the algorithms, like they amplify people who like keep people on the site. So why we're seeing a lot of rage bait go on in our thing now, and you know that's what's going on. But you are right; they are making money from the rage. But yeah, guys, we are out of guests. Paul was too much of a coward to come up. I guess he just wanted to say one thing, and then when we responded to him, he wanted to go ahead and
I'm like,
run away.
I don't get that. Like, how? What does like saying America was never great because of the history of America, saying that you hate America? Like,
I never get it.
that doesn't make any sense. Like,
Hey, well, y'all
you
have a
did.
beautiful night.
Does it
Stay
say
safe.
on there that
You too.
that I hate America?
Yeah,
Where
it's
does it
not on
say
there.
that?
Yeah, it doesn't say that. It doesn't say that at all. Well, anyway,
y'all
yo,
stay blessed. All right. Have a good
you
night.
as well. You guys stay blessed.
Thank you.
But I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Kay, I appreciate you. Chef, I appreciate you. We did get to 40K likes, y'all. 62 people in here. I appreciate everybody. Now we don't know what's gonna happen with TikTok, y'all. We don't know what's gonna happen with TikTok.
Yeah, we know we
So yeah, I have a link in my bio. I do have my YouTube up. You guys go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube. I have a Discord for Black atheists. If you are a Black non-believer or a spiritualist, please join it. Kay is there as well.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm in there. I'm like, but in order to qualify to be in there, you have to have 1 or 2 Black parents. So
Yeah,
if you
exactly.
do not qualify, if you don't have any of that, you're not allowed in the space.
Yeah, you're not allowed in that space.
Sorry.
I might make another Discord, but in that Discord you'll be allowed. But in that one, but the Black Atheist Discord, you won't be allowed. I am sorry, but I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I appreciate everybody. Jonesy, see you in the Discord. We're going to go ahead and do a redesign this weekend. Kay, I'll see you in Discord as well. We're going to do a redesign this weekend.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Gotcha, and I appreciate y'all, and I love y'all, and I will be live probably tomorrow or the next day. Y'all have a good night. All right.
All right, you two be safe, love.
You too.
اسمك عن جميل قصتك كبس أسرع أخوي أسرع. عندك قهر الظلام يضف لي إياه السري إخوان. أمر الإرسال طلب تابع لقهر الظلام يلا إخوان اللي بعده تابع سري صار سري يلا إخواني. شيرونا اللايف وضيفوا اعملوا إرسال دعوة اعملوا إرسال دعوة. خلينا ناخذ اللي بعده تابع سري يا أخوي أسرع اللي بعده. عندك قهر الظلام مين تابعه اللي بعده ميدو أطلع. اللي بعده يا إخوان أسرع اسمك عن جميل كبس على الشاشة تمام. إخوان ارسلوا دعوة وكبسوا على الشاشة يلا إخوان أسرع. خلينا ناخذ اللي بعده. يلا اخوان اسرع 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 اسرع. اسمك عن جميل قصات كبس اخي اسمك عن جميل قصات تكبس تقول يا رب توتا اطلعي. اللي بعده خلينا ناخذ اللي بعده يلا شو اسرع تابع اطلع تمام. حرك الارقام اطلع بسرعه اسرع اللي بعده. مين تابع اخر 3 على السريع عندك توتا مين تابع